Welcome back, Kiss family. Keep it simple, swinger. Hey, this episode is going to be about age preferences. Young, old, in between. Everybody has preferences, but we're going to get into it. But before we do, if you haven't done so yet, like, subscribe, smash them buttons, leave some comments before, during, after. Let me know how I'm doing. I'd like to know your feedback. And it helps me. It helps me understand exactly where you guys are coming from and your side of the story, your side of what you've experienced. Let's dive into it. Age preferences. Listen, there's no right or wrong answer with this. There just isn't. Most people that are this age group to this age group or this age, they don't have parameters. Okay. Then they start out and they just keep trying and see what works best for them. And I've seen it. I've been doing this for a lot of years, and it's my opinion. These are all my opinions. But what I've seen thus far is there is a new wave of swinging in the lifestyle that doesn't have age groups. When I say don't have age groups, these kids are starting out at 22, 23 years of age with 23, 24 years of age partners in the lifestyle. And they're using it as a dating lifestyle app. They won't tell you that. They may be committed in a relationship or they just got married and they're either barking up the wrong tree or they've got it figured out by that time. I have no idea because I'm not in that era. I'm a Gen X guy and everything's pretty much cut and dry for me. Okay. What I've learned is from me throughout the years, we had learned what kind of age groups have been mature enough to play with, mature enough to understand the parameters of people and what they had set forth and what their boundaries are and how to conduct themselves, i.e., hygiene, communication, and just respect. There's respect just goes a long ways. As I always say, you got to respect everybody. And that starts from talking to them from the profile, networking, and getting to meet them, and then meeting them and find out that you're all good to go together and you gel correctly. So therefore you can move on to the next phase, which can either be the soft, full swap, whatever takes place at that time, or what is agreed upon at that time. Okay. We generally like to have a working knowledge before we start getting to that position. But those age groups are they're out there, whether you're in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. What we've seen is we tend to look for maturity and communication, okay? And communication and responsibility before, during, and after, okay? That means if there's a problem after you've spoke about your boundaries before you play, or you've spoke about it, or you talked about your experiences, and what your boundaries are together or as a single female or a single male. You've talked about your boundaries and they have asked you about your boundaries. That way there's no lines crossed. There's no, all right, it's timeout, or you got code words, because a lot of couples have code words if things aren't going right for them. Code words, and no one wants to stop in the middle of play because it just, I don't know, it just never feels good. Because someone has crossed some boundaries or something needs to be talked about or things just aren't worked out. And those generally happen when people either cross the boundaries or they're new, and sometimes things happen. There's a miscommunication between the significant other somewhere or another. And those things happen a lot, not a lot to where it's detrimental, but you always have to start somewhere. Couples will always start somewhere, especially if they're trying to start in the lifestyle and they haven't experienced a lot of ups and downs and they're not secure in their relationship, or they're looking to put a band-aid on their relationship no matter what their age group is or what have you. And I've seen this all the way up to into the 60s. They still have some jealousy issues. They've come to swinging a lifestyle, being, already checked out of the marriage or the relationship, and they're just putting the band-aid on and they're just going for broke thinking that that's going to fix it. We'll never fix it, and it shows maturity whenever you can identify these problems long before you get to the play, because then it's not only a bad mark on you, the people that you're trying to interact with will see that bad act as well and go, you know what, we don't want to play with that couple. They have issues, okay? And we all have issues. Some of us can control them all the way to the end until we move on. Then we have that before, during, and aftercare kind of thing. At the end, we talk about it with our significant others and we go, we didn't like that. We were okay with this. And this is what we won't do next time, okay? Once you get in the act of things, you shouldn't be mad at your spouse. You shouldn't be mad at your significant other because you should have had all your stuff talked about at that point. And if things start to transpire that don't look good, it's your responsibility to take yourself out of that equation. That all goes with age and maturity, okay? These young kids, these midsection, when it comes to mid-aged couples, you have your 40s, the 50s, and then you have your up in the 60s, and bless their hearts, man. I hope at the age of 70, I'm still doing what I'm doing because vanilla sucks, okay? And I ain't mad at anybody trying to get into the lifestyle swinging community because it is what it is. Now that people know that, it's kind of an alternative way of being in a relationship, and understanding what your parameters are before you get married. You're married for 10 years and you think that getting into the swinging community is going to help your marriage or your relationship. That happens in all kinds of age groups. So what I tell you is, at the level of the profile, you read their do's and don'ts, the things they like, they don't like. You make a formative decision. You go to that age demographics that you desire, okay? And you start networking these people, and you start seeing them at the parties, you start seeing them at the resorts, you start seeing them at the bars, or the meet and greets, or what have you, or the kayaking adventures, or the camping adventures, or the boating adventures. You start seeing them, you start having a conversation, and you start understanding what it is that they like and the things that you may like as well. And you start working that, whether they're 20 years older or 20 years younger. It doesn't matter because there's all walks of life out there with the age groups that like a certain, age group, or they seem to work well with a certain age gap somewhere or another. Myself and my significant other, we have an age group that we like to stick with. It's just because we've had some experiences in the past with younger situation. Nothing against them. They weren't quite ready, for the maturity level into the swinging lifestyle community. And we chose to walk away, and that's what we did. We said, if they start to present themselves at a certain age where they seem like they're responsible and they're speaking responsibility and they're not flaking, and there's great validations for them on these apps, that people talk highly of them, then of course we like to have our own opinion of people, but that's not saying that we won't go, oh, okay, well, maybe we need to make our own formula of opinion and talk to these people, if we're interested in them. But that's going to be on a case by case situation, and everybody has their likes and dislikes. Everyone has their tribes that they like to hang out with, or there's certain demographics, whether it be this type of person, or these type of people, or these type of people that like to do these certain things. And you have these people over here that are chill and they don't like to do too much of just hang out and play card games. Everyone has a demographics, okay? The end result is all ages now in the lifestyle are making their own group transitions when it comes to ages, whether they want someone way older or someone way younger. It doesn't matter. And nothing against anybody. That's something that you have to pick and choose when it comes to your demographics and your age group and your maturity level versus who you start to play with or who you start to engage with, if you will. Okay. There's no right or wrong answer to this. You have to figure it out yourself. Sometimes people are mature, and it goes with everything else. You'll know if they're mature or not. If they show up, they're very courteous, they do the right things, they present the right things, and they're very responsible about it. Not everybody's going to want to play on the first date, and maybe it's a meet and greet, and that's just it. And they'll make plans another time to get more involved in learning and in trying to figure you out and, you know, experience what you have to offer for them, because swinging community is all about the experience, nothing more. Your age group is your age group. You do what you got to do with it, okay? And no one's going to be mad at you. But hey, listen, guys, keep it simple, swinger. Your age group is whatever age group you pick. Have your experiences, log them in, and do what's best for you. All right, KISS family, until then, keep it simple, swingers.